Okay. Okay, I have my video actually going here, so let's go back, Angela, to the question that you're asking. So let me give my YouTube audience a little bit of context. So you're asking, this is important not just for speaking, but also for academic writing. You're asking me about the point of view. What point of view is more appropriate based on the independent speaking tasks 1 and 2, right? So that's kind of what you're asking me here.
In my opinion, I would...
Okay, let's go to the second code, though.
Hi, Mike. Actually, I have a question that me and Pranash were practicing, and we got confused with it. I read somewhere that when we have to answer the speaking task 1 and 2, we're supposed to answer in first person, like I and me.
Yes, the answer is yes on that. So when you think about point of view, you have to think about first, second, and third person point of view. So you have first person singular, I, maybe me. You have second person singular, you, and then you have third person singular, he, she, or it. Now what you don't do, you typically do not need to use that second person singular, the you point of view. That's where a lot of people fall astray during the independent speaking task. That point of view is not really necessary.
But in some questions where we need to recommend something to our friend, like we came up with a question, your friend is trying to decide whether to attend a call or something like that. But when I was answering, I used more of he or she, and Pranash also was using he or she, but not that much like me. But still we were confused. What are we supposed to do in such situations, and how would we make it more towards first person? So could you by any chance give us some details about that?
Okay, let's do that right now. So what we can do right now to help illustrate or answer your question here, let's take a look at 2 types of questions that I have at my website. And this is the key. The key is to look at the speaking prompt, decode it, figure out what it's asking you to do, and then choose the language or the point of view that you think will best fit that situation. Okay, so here's one. What characteristic do you prefer in a friend? Reliable, humorous, or intelligent? So in your opinion, do you like a reliable friend, a humorous friend, or an intelligent friend? Which of these characteristics is most important? Now in this question it says the word you. So that means you're focusing on the first person singular, the I, the me, the my, the mine. That point of view, that's going to work better here based on the question. So you're giving personal experience type information, examples, details, and so on to answer this question. So in that case, first person singular point of view is more appropriate. Now let's go to independent speaking task number 20 at my website from my online TOEFL course. This question is different. It says your friend is nervous because he will start a new job tomorrow. What would you advise him to do? In this case, Angela, you're using both. You're using the first person point of view because you're talking about what kind of advice you would want to give your friend, and you're also using what's called the third person singular point of view to focus on your friend. So then you might say something like this: well, if my friend is nervous because he's starting a new job tomorrow, I would advise my friend to prepare beforehand by practicing some questions that he thinks might be asked during the interview. You see what I'm saying? So in that case, you're using both. You might use the I, the me, my, or the mine point of view, that, and you also be using the he or the she point of view as you talk about your friend. So in that case, you're doing both. Does that make sense? So in either case, though, in the independent speaking task, you're not really using that you point of view. You're not using that at all. Now, I want to go on for just a minute as we talk a little bit more. You also have the independent speaking tasks. Speaking task number 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, in a lot of these cases, because they're not personal experience type speaking tasks, they're more formal, they're more academic, you probably don't need to use any personal pronouns in there unless you're in, I think it's speaking task number 5, where you're asked to decide which position you think is better and why in that case. But in a lot of cases, you'll be mentioning things like, well, the reading passage, the listening passage, or the author in the reading passage states, or the speaker in the lecture says. You'll be focusing on things mostly from that third person point of view. So you don't really need to get or use any personal pronouns with those integrated speaking tasks, with the exception of speaking task 5, when part of the task you're giving your opinion on something. You see what I'm saying? So that's my 2 cents about the points of view that you should be aware of during the independent and the integrated speaking tasks.